So in the last series of videos, we took you through what Chuck's journey was to his body transformation and what his first steps were and what his next steps were, and how hitting little milestones along the way has really encouraged him to continue. And I think it's important to note that he's really helped me too, because watching him be as consistent as he's been with tracking his food has helped me be more consistent with it. And it's not something that you want to feel like you're tied to, but now we view it more like a tool, and it's really helped us define what our next steps are. But we wanted to produce this little FAQ for you, just to kind of encourage you that you don't have to be perfect, because we're not perfect. And
I think you're perfect.
Oh, honey. But here's the thing. What happens if you screw up? What happens if you totally blow, you're not eating healthy? What do you do? Chuck, you want to speak?
Yeah, so it happens to me often. I'm an expert on that. I'm perfect about screwing things up. So yeah, one, you love life. You have things come up in your life that are social engagements or work related. You don't want to be that person who doesn't want to participate, right? I'm not a monk or anything like that. So there's times, there's temptations, there's life gets in the way, you're stressed, whatever it is, and you're going to mess up, and that's okay.
You want to tell them about a couple of your moves?
Oh, okay, sure. So there's been times where you've been traveling and I've been home with our daughter, and I decide to get a large stuffed crust pizza, Meat Lovers, and I ate the whole thing. And I tracked it. I put it into MyFitnessPal, and I got some very interesting comments from my friends. They thought I was punking them or something, and I did eat it all, the whole thing, because my daughter didn't want it, and I'm obsessive compulsive, and I must finish something. So, but I should track it. I was accountable to myself. I'm going to just put it in. I ate it. I enjoyed it actually, and but I put it in, tracked it, weighed myself the next day, and said I'm going to do better the next time. And I would look back at that and go, that was kind of fun. So that's an issue. Or maybe I was at an event, and at the end of the event, it's been a long day. That my customers leave, and there are still an entire box of cookies left over from lunch. And I've got another conference call, it's gonna go late, and I start to munch on them, and next thing you know, all the cookies are gone. That's not good. So I do mess up often. Track it, understand what you did, and then continue to move on. You can't say, I'm a failure, I'm never gonna do it, because that's one little micro point in your journey. And you've made progress, and you can get right back on it. So
that's what we say in our house is eat what you want, but own it. So, don't try to hide it. And I think that's the biggest reason why people stop tracking their food, is that there's this mental mindset that, oh, if I don't track it, then I didn't eat it, which does nobody any good. So have what you want and enjoy it. And what you'll also notice is that you'll see, he weighs himself every day, and I never did. I only weighed myself when I lost. So my weight chart would always look like it was just going down, but his looked like an EKG chart, and I really liked that better, because what we found was that you can pinpoint those times that maybe you weren't as successful with your eating program, but that's okay, because overall it still goes in the direction that you want to.
Right. It's your life. You look back at it, and I said, here's where our anniversary was, here's where our vacation was, here's where our daughter's birthday was, I ate some cake. And you can see, and I can point to things that happen in my life have those consequences in my eating, and therefore my weight.
Right.
And I understand, but it comes back down. It goes up and comes back down, and the goal, the overall trend is down, down, down. It's those little short things, it's those things I do every day, every week, that really start to benefit. I see it, I feel it, I see it. So it's been fantastic. It's easy to do. It's easier than you think.
Yeah, and you don't have to go into this, oh, I blew it. Right. So now everything's, just throw your hands up in the air. It's like, okay, so maybe one day wasn't so good, you go right back. And a lot of times you might think that you blow it, but you look at your overall day and it's like, oh, I'm still fine. Maybe it wasn't the best eating day, but I'm still fine. So I think just getting out of that all or nothing mentality is really good. So one thing I really want to point out is, one, how much he's helped me stay consistent as well, and just having somebody that you're accountable to and having somebody that's encouraging is very helpful. I don't want you to think that you have to be perfect in this, but I also want you to know that sometimes it's not something you can do just by yourself without anybody else helping.
Obviously, you've been very supportive and encouraging for 20 years as a personal fitness trainer. And of course, I have that personality that says, no, I can do this on my own. It's a guy thing. But then, obviously, what we've talked about, the events that occurred, that was a pivotal event that really changed my mindset, which helped me enter into this new phase. And then I did see that what I was doing that encouraged you. And so that's always a tricky way. I think you need encouragement, you need accountability, and how do you do that without being critical to someone, right? Especially if it's your spouse, and you're in everybody's in different stages or phases of their life. So one of the things I think is interesting, and we had mentioned where you own your mistake, right? And you don't, you get busted. I think that's a three-way accountability, because since we all track our food in MyFitnessPal, we start to show it and we kind of bust ourselves. I'm not busting you. MyFitnessPal has busted you, and now I'm gonna say, but we don't do that. We joke, and it's just an epic fail, right? Boy, you ate the whole pizza? Really?
Yeah. 6 donuts at one time?
Yeah, I've done that too. I love donuts.
Well, and so it's important to say, we don't have a cheat day, and I know a lot of diets, which this is not a diet, say they have a cheat day, and the reason we don't is because life has built-in cheat days. And there's just times when you're going to celebrate with your friends, or you're going to go on vacation, or attend a party, or life happens. So building in a designated cheat day almost makes you feel like you have to. And so we just kind of wait for when those times arise and live life. And that's to us what the most important thing is, just living life, to the fullest.
But on the encouragement side too, when in MyFitnessPal you're weighing yourself, you've got a goal of a particular weight in addition to a calorie target, so that when we do weigh that, we're all like, look, I lost 0.2 pounds. It's like, yay! It's awesome. We take pictures. If I'm traveling, she'll take a picture of the scale and text it to me, which is very interesting. And but it's great. So we encourage each other that way. And then we obviously kid each other. We say, you probably shouldn't have had the 6 donuts, Chuck. And I was like, it's probably more like 12. And driving between Memphis and Nashville. So so we hold each other accountable, but it's almost in a gaming sort of way, because we've got facts. It's facts and evidence based on what we've been tracking on MyFitnessPal. So it's a great way to be accountable to ourselves and to have an accountability partner too, who you trust and who isn't going to make you feel awkward or embarrassed about it. That's a critical thing to all this as well. But even if you don't have that individual in your life, this is still something you can do. MyFitnessPal in a way becomes that surrogate for you.
So I want to encourage you that, so when Chuck is going through this journey, it's not like it was all smooth sailing. There were pitfalls, you have plateaus, there's great milestones and we get to celebrate that, but when he gets stuck or want to know how to do something, he'd ask. And so what we decided to do was put together a step-by-step resource that you can use, so you can hopefully get similar results, or the results that you want from your body and your health. And I want to make myself available to you too. So we're gonna list out these steps. So it's going to be like Chuck's success stories, guidelines. It's going to be the guidelines that he used, the daily fitness habits that he used to get healthy and get the body that he wanted. But we're also going to outline when changes happened and how he overcame those obstacles. So when you need to start thinking about, okay, well, what about carbs? What about protein? How do I have those? How do I set my macros up right? There's a lot of details that we want to just give you, so you have that resource. You would probably figure them out on your own, but we want to make it easy for you. And then when you do get stuck, if there's a question that isn't answered in the guidelines and the videos that we are making available for you, then ask, because there's a question and answer segment at the end of each video, and I'm more than happy to help you get over whatever obstacle gets in your way. So if you're interested in this guideline, this daily fitness habit guideline that Chuck used, then go ahead and click on the link below